Good morning, friends! Welcome to Kids Time. I'm so glad that you're here again with me this morning. I'm Rebekah, the Children, Youth, and Family Director here at St. Paul Lutheran Church in Missoula. And it's really wonderful to be with you again up front here at the PrayGround. And maybe you notice some special things in the background of this video. Can you figure out what are those things that aren't usually up front in our sanctuary? Well, if you guessed the Advent wreath and the Christmas tree, you're right. Those two things are special, and we looked at them last week too. But because they're so special, it's just fun to notice them again. But did you notice there's something else that's different? What is different from last week? Well, last week there was only one Advent candle lit. And I know it's a little hard to see in this video, but you can see the flame right there. And this week, we have a second one. And so if you are lighting your Advent wreath at home, make sure that today you light 2 candles, 2 of the blue or purple candles. And so we're going to talk a little bit about what does it mean that it's the second week of Advent. Now, remember with me, what was the first week of Advent? Do you remember the word that went with that first week? It had something to do with that big poster that's hanging up in our sanctuary that some of you made during the Fall Faith Festival. It's hope. Hope was week 1 of Advent. And so maybe you talked to your parents or your siblings or your grandparents about what you are hopeful for, or maybe what gives you hope. Well, this week, do you know what our second week of Advent word is? Well, it goes along with what it looks like when we put number 2 up on our fingers. What else does this mean? When we put 2 fingers up, we might be saying peace. So week 2 of Advent is peace. And that's a really great way to remember it by just making the peace sign. So peace is our second week of Advent word. And what does peace mean? No, not like a piece of pie, but peace, like quiet, or the opposite of war or violence. Peace. Maybe you remember in church sometimes when we would all be together, we would share the peace. And we'd go around and we'd say, "Peace be with you." Or maybe you've been to other churches that do that. And when we do that, we share God's peace with the people around us. So, take 1 minute and pause this video and tell whoever's around you, "Peace be with you." Maybe you can even flash them the peace sign. So do that. Pause this video and say, "Peace be with you." And peace be with you, too. I'm sharing God's peace with you. Can you say it back to me? Thanks for doing that. Well, there's another thing that the word peace reminds me of. And it's a song. So I'm wondering if you would sing it with me. It might be a song that you already know, but I'll teach you the words anyway. And the song is called Peace Like a River. And the words are this, and I'll do some motions too. So the words and the motions are this. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river in my soul. And that's it. And there are some other verses that we'll sing too. But we'll start with peace. So sing it with me. I'll sing it one time through, and then you join me the second time. Ready? I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river in my soul. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river in my soul. Now that you know the tune, sing it with me. Let's just start with peace. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river in my soul. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river in my soul. And actually, now that I think about it, maybe we'll wait on those other verses because they might have something to do with later weeks in Advent. We've still got 2 more to go. But this week, remember, is about peace. And when we sing peace like a river, why might peace be like a river? Well, I don't know about you, but I really love to sit next to a river, or maybe you go floating on a river in the summer. And when you're sitting by a river, or floating on a tube, or on a raft, unless you're going through the rapids, it feels pretty calm. And maybe you even close your eyes a little bit and listen to the water going over the rocks. That's another way to think about peace too. And in this second week of Advent, we think about all the ways that Jesus brings peace. And we're still waiting for Jesus to come again and bring the peace that only Jesus can give. We can try our very best to not say unkind things and to be quiet and gentle and peaceful. But sometimes we get angry, right? And sometimes we yell, or sometimes we get all rowdy, and sometimes people hurt us. But Jesus is coming to bring peace beyond what we can even imagine. It's perfect peace. And so this week, talk with your family about what brings you peace. What helps you feel calm and quiet, content, not angry? What are those things that bring you peace? I'll tell you what mine is before we say goodbye today. One of the things that brings me peace is being outside in the sunshine. Even on cold days, the sun feels warm, and it makes me want to just stay there and be quiet and still and soak up those sunny rays. So what makes you feel peaceful? Tell your family. talk about it tonight as you light that second Advent candle. And I can't wait to see you back here next week for our third week in Advent. And we'll add to that Peace Like a River song with the next week's word. So maybe if you already know the song Peace Like a River, you might be able to guess what week 3 might be. Well, friends, we're getting closer and closer to Christmas, and so I hope that you feel all kinds of happiness and joy even while we're waiting. You're being so patient. See you next week, friends. I hope this week is wonderful. Bye, everybody.